How are you?
How am I? I'm good. I'm
When
not
people ask the question back, yeah, I always feel like that's not that great. Is it, how do I answer this question?
Do you know what? Let me not lie. I'm tired. I think that the whole British summertime is an absolute scam.
What would it? Because you lost that 1 hour sleep.
Yeah, like I feel like it's really bamboozled me this year. Like I really didn't want it to change.
I was thinking about it this weekend, and I was like, is it just because the numbers are not exact, so they just round and then they just it's terrible, and every now and again they just give us an hour here or there.
But like, don't do that. Just leave it. It was fine how it was.
Yeah, but now it's lighter.
Yeah, because the time has changed.
Yeah.
But no.
It's only 1 hour, and it was days ago now.
Listen, you say it's 1 hour when you have a child that doesn't know that, you know, the time has gone forward.
Oh, so what time did he wake up now?
Well, right now he's all over the place because he hasn't been at nursery, but yeah, it's just
can't relate. I can't relate.
Yeah, other than that, I'm fine. You know, yesterday did a talk as Black in HR, and you beautifully came to support me.
It was so good. It was so like, I guess, eye-opening. Tell us what it was about.
So it was with 3 lovely ladies who run something called the Debrief, which is specifically like a community for Black women and women of colour in the music industry. So I'm sure we can all kind of, you know, assume that the music industry can be quite cliquey. It can be, you know, you have to really work on your relationships in order to get by. It's not just about how well you do your job. So my understanding is that, you know, part of the reason they created the community is to give women that safe space to be able to talk to people who have done it before them. So one of the ladies is like a marketing director at a music company. One other one is A&R, and another one manages an artist. So yeah, they're just doing really great stuff. And then the actual talk yesterday was specifically to, you know, create a safe space for all these different women to basically speak about their experiences, and for Black in HR. And there was also a lovely woman from a company called Blue Rhythm who are therapists for musicians and people in the music industry, to give them the tools and just advice on how to tackle some of the issues they are facing. And music is the wild, wild west. Some of the cases, cases, like literally cases.
The cases pending cases.
Yeah, that we heard. My mouth drops. Like at one point, Lola was in the front saying, "Velisa, your mouth."
Yeah, I was like, Velisa, pick your jaw off the floor. I was like, Velisa, like it was literally jaw dropping stuff.
Yeah.
And then that made me like, it made me feel like, so music reminds me a little bit of like sport, in the sense that I think it's like, it's a passion industry, isn't it?
Yeah.
So like, for instance, if you could talk about football, there's like, they can treat people kind of however, because people literally queue up to work in the industry. And then also it reminds me of sport in the sense that, like, if you look at football, there's a lot of Black players, so there's a lot of Black talent, but there's not necessarily that many Black people behind the scenes.
Yeah, 100%.
So that's what it, like, that's kind of what I kind of learned, or what I took away. That's what it reminds me of. But it was crazy, man.
Honestly,
crazy. It was scary scenes.
Yeah, it's amazing what people will put up with in the workplace, and
Black people especially,
and no one will have a clue how much is just piled on top of them. Like, it's actually crazy.
It's crazy. And I think those kind of spaces are really good, because they are like, if anything, they just like validate you that you're not crazy, because you could be like, the way some people are gaslit, you literally walk away thinking that you're crazy.
Yeah, you think, no, surely, like, that didn't happen. Yeah. Surely it's me. Like, yeah. So, so it was really good. It was very, it was intimate. It was eye-opening. And yeah, I really loved it. Yeah.
Cool. You also wrote something, which I read today.
Yes. I wrote an article for It's a Lifestyle Hun, Melissa Wardrobe's platform, and it was all about 4 things you can do if you love your job that hate your boss.
Which is a lot of us.
It is a lot of people.
Yeah.
It is. It wasn't hard to write.
From
I mean, I'm fine.
Yeah.
I'm fine, but it wasn't hard to write because like there's a lot of people like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So go check it out.
Yeah, go check it out. And I also feel like, I wonder if people would like to read more stuff from you or from us, or like if that's something that they would.
Maybe that can be the question.
That's the question for the week. I'm going to talk about my week, and then we're going to introduce ourselves so that we don't forget. Yes, we're getting better. So, I mean, this is going to be very brief. I don't know what I did this week. I had the best weekend. I did nothing. And then on Sunday, I went to bed at 9:30.
Must be even
and I woke
nicer.
up on Monday morning like a Disney princess. I was like,
That's hilarious.
that's where the birds were singing. Squirrel came to the window, gave me my breakfast. It was wonderful.
That is hilarious.
It was so good. And then I was like, I've recommitted. I used to be so good at getting my 8 hours sleep. I told you before, I'm still planning on growing, so that I need my sleep.
Wait, what?
I'm going to grow taller.
I just wanted to clarify that's what we were talking about.
If you believe, you can achieve. And I believe that I could grow. So
I'm
it
rooting for
happens, you know.
I'm rooting.
Yeah, root for me. But I just need to sleep. That's the bit I'm missing now. So I've been sleeping. I've been back on, you know, we said we want to reduce. I've been in the exercise.
Yeah,
I've
you went to the
re-downloaded Couch to 5K. I used to run a lot, but now I can barely run. So I've downloaded Couch to 5K. I downloaded the free one.
Okay.
Which is by the NHS, and I really like it because you can pick. It's like in partnership with the BBC, and you can pick whose voice you want to hear.
Oh, that's cute.
Yes, I picked Yasmin Evans. I think that's is she from Birmingham? She's from Manchester.
Okay.
Yeah, so I picked her, and then she just talks to me now, and we're on this journey together. So yeah, that was me. And obviously I came to your event yesterday. Yeah, so that was it.
Can I say one more thing before we introduce ourselves? It's completely like not related to anything we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
But R.I.P. Paul Grady.
Oh my God! Yes, R.I.P. Paul Grady.
Not Lily Savage. Like,
oh my God, I love
gosh.
him.
Yeah.
I loved him.
Yeah.
That was so, and he's only 67.
I know.
That's really young.
Yeah, it was really sad. I was like, oh my gosh, like, and all the nice stories that have come out about him.
That's
as
what you
well.
want. You want to like people, and then people come out with nice stories. Like sometimes, when people pass, I'm like, please.
Yeah, you don't want that. You know that tweet where it's, R.I.P. Auntie, the evil you have done.
There's enough. Yeah, no, Paul Grady, legend.
Yeah, R.I.P. But yeah,
That's really sad.
it is.
How do we introduce ourselves now?
I know we have to like just keep going, push through, Lola.
Okay.
Go on.
All right then. Hey, this is Lola, but you can call me Lola if you like.
Hi, this is Velisa, and you could call me Vels if you want. And this is the Everybody Hates HR episode 39.
Yes,
It is 39.
Mr. Word podcast, but it's the Everybody Hates HR podcast.
Listen, I'm tired. You guys are going to get what you get today.
And you know what? Will be, by the time this comes out,
1 year old.
1 year old. We'll be 1 year old. By the time this comes out, be exactly.
We need to get balloons.
Yeah, it's actually on Saturday. This comes out on Friday. So we do something next week. Yeah.
Do you know what this means?
What?
You can bake a cake.
Yeah. Okay, fine. I will. Do you know what?
Yeah.
I will.
Do it.
I'm going to bake a cake.
Yeah.
And I'm going to bake a cake. I'm going to bring it in, and then you're going to be quite friendly. That's the aim. Yeah, I'm going to bake a cake.
It's on camera now.
To celebrate. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a woman of my
Okay.
word. I'm not someone like, I'm not shy.
Okay, maybe
Just don't come
lemon.
at the right
Lemon
cake. You're even requesting flavors. You even requesting flavors. I can do lemon. Do you like
something
lemon
light,
drizzle?
you know. Yeah, I do. Yeah,
Okay,
lemon drizzle.
lemon drizzle.
Perfect.
Okay. We're actually seeing each other this weekend.
Yeah, so you have the weekend to.
Yeah. I can do it on Saturday.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. Things work out really well.
Perfect.
Okay, so what is in there? We spoke about what we want to talk about on the pod a little bit, but I've literally just got something else in my head, which I'm just going to sidetrack the whole thing. So I want to say Levi's is the brand, but they're in a push to increase diversity, they're using more AI models.
Oh, do you know what? I saw this. I did.
And I literally just thought, why don't you just hire more actual diverse people?
Because that's harder.
It's not that hard. There's literally women queuing. It's not harder. It's just maybe it's a bit more work. It's lazy.
Yeah, it's more work.
It's stepping out your comfort zone. It doesn't allow you to be lazy. And I'm not with it. Like I remember when do you know who Shudu is?
Yes, I do.
So for those of you who don't know, Shudu is like a really popular AI model. She's a dark-skinned woman, like really dark, and she's like just beautiful, but she's an AI. And a lot of brands use Shudu in their marketing to like advertise whatever, clothes, jewelry. It's either like a beauty and everything actually, a beauty and fashion model, right? Shudu is owned and created by a white man. And so it means that all these brands, basically that means that we now have a white man profiting off the likeness, the image of a fake black woman that he created. And so brands that want to work with Shudu and so have their advertising or whatever more diverse, they can kind of benefit. They can do that without black people actually benefiting, which I'm just like not with. I'm like, okay, so like, oh yeah, look, it's diverse, but the money that you're using black people's image and their likeness to sell things without giving us or our community any money.
Yeah,
and I'm not with it. And I'm like, Levi's is now it's Levi's, wasn't it?
I think it was.
Yeah,
Levi's.
I'll double check if I'm dragging the wrong company, but
I think it was Levi's.
Yeah, but I'm not with it. I don't like it. Like, I just don't understand. Like, why you're doing all these, like, you know, up and down, left, right, like, all to avoid actually just giving black people the money that they're due. You literally use our face and not pay us.
Literally, but I'm just not surprised. Like, I'm not shocked. I think it's gonna happen more. I feel like we're literally entering the AI space more than ever.
It is Levi.
It is, yeah, more than ever before. So I feel like it's just going to happen more, and it won't just be, you know, based on a made up black woman. It'll be a made up, you know, East Asian woman, Southeast Asian, like
a made
South
up gay
Asian, couple, made up gay couple,
made up mixed race family.
Literally, it's all coming. It's all coming.
I'm to
the point where like the John Lewis Christmas advert is all AI.
It's AI, and people are still going to complain about the AI. Like, I'm really sick of it. Like, I just don't understand how ethically it's okay. I'm gonna make an AI white man, and I'm gonna get all the jobs.
Do it.
I don't take all the money. I want to show up to
do it.
When they
see what happens.
When they make an interview, and they make a live AI where I can go on camera and put the AI filter on, and I'm a white man. I'll take a remote job.
Deep fake.
I'll take a remote job, and I'll call myself. I'll change my name. Yeah, and then I'll figure it out. I'll start contracting as a white man.
It is very wild.
When Microsoft Teams gets that, you know, like how they have different backgrounds.
Yeah.
When Zoom gets the AI to make me a white man, I'm gonna clean up in them interviews. I'm gonna clean up. I'm sick of it. I'm actually sick of like how audacious people are.
They should use that. That's like another version of like what's it called? Blind hiring. Like you
should.
Yeah, like you go to an interview.
Let's make it.
And then
let's make it.
Yeah,
let's make it.
You can turn up as whoever you want. Then you get the job.
And you don't get name. You don't get their name, and then you can still interview them. They can have the AI. We're giving away our IP.
No one should do it, and then you reveal yourself once you've signed the contract.
Work is blind. Yes. The concept is there. Work is blind. Work is blind.
That's it.
Done. Or we can even interview in the pods.
By the time this episode comes out, it's copyrighted. I'm just saying.
I haven't been watching Love Is Blind though.
Have I?
No, I haven't. Not yet. Don't tell me. I'm gonna binge it this at some point. I keep saying this weekend. Maybe while I'm baking the cake.
I definitely binged it on the day it came out.
All of it.
Yes.
You.
For what?
Well done.
I work hard.
No, because you'll come and tell me that you have a job, you have a baby, you got a man to keep happy, you got to do the pod, but then you got time to binge.
Yes, I do. I have time for Love Is Blind. I do.
Oh my god! But yeah, that was what I want to talk about, and I'm not with it. I'm not a fan of Levi. But do you know what? Now they've birthed our idea. From this adversity, from this struggle,
and it has been copywritten.
That's not how you copyright things, but we'll work on it.
No, by the time the episode comes out, I'm on it.
Okay, cool. That's it.
Yeah. But yeah, Work Is Blind. I love it.
I have something anyway. So let's not reveal too much.
We
start cooking.
We move on.
What do we actually want to talk about on the pod?
The feds.
Another audacious group of people. So last week, a report came out by Baroness Louise Casey on the Met Police, and this was the investigation that was commissioned on the back of everything that happened with Sarah Everard, RIP, to see like how it was able to happen and the culture and stuff in the Met. The report came out, and shout out to Baroness Louise Casey, because she dragged them for filth. There was no, she had no mercy. She said, the report came out and it said that the Met Police is still an institutionally racist, misogynistic and homophobic organization. And when I spoke to you, you was just like, haven't we already established this?
This is not new information.
Yeah, it's not. But it's like we had a report for Stephen Lawrence. We've had so many reports since, and nothing is changing. But she literally, like, she just dragged them for filth. And I had a look into her background, and she's had like quite a few. She had a long history in like government, working for like different departments, like for like, let's say, vulnerable families, and or like where she worked. She was like a director for shelter. She's like done lots of non-profit and government, and she's like for the people. And I loved it. I loved that how she wrote it. But some of the stuff that was in there, Velisa, you would like, you wouldn't believe. Like, there was a Muslim man. They put bacon in his shoes.
Bacon in his shoes.
Yeah. Put bacon in his shoes. There was a Sikh man. They cut his beard.
They cut his, like, they physically
scissored his beard. I don't know if he was asleep.
But what happened? What were the consequences of
There's
these
none.
things?
And now some people are saying, I can't remember what her name is, but the chief human resources, it's not chief human resources, the chief HR something officer gets paid over 200 grand a year. Some people actually needs to hold some of this L.
100%.
Because there was a couple of whistleblowers, and they said that the HR team, they were really poor. Like, they didn't manage investigations well. They didn't deal with complaints, and they said that a third of the women in the Met, and that's like the London police, right, have been they've been sexually harassed, and then there was like loads of other statistics, but basically no one took anything. They just don't get taken seriously. And then the report found that there was issues with recruitment, issues with training, issues with just how they did everything. And it's just been a culture that's been allowed to like fester. Yeah. And they're basically like, they've lost public confidence, like something needs to happen. And so I just can imagine like what ER must be like there. There was really bad stories. There was like a woman who was like a trainee, and then the person that they paired her with was like, he's gonna break her. He sent her to go and identify like, or go and do something with a dead body. Sent her to a rape case by herself that she wasn't qualified to do. You know, like some of the stuff that people are talking about, like when you set somebody up to fail, that is a type of harassment. So yeah, there was so many things that happened. Like if you read I read like excerpts of the report, and it's so damning. And it's like, okay, what do we actually do from here? Because we have report after report. They'll create some new self-policing body to regulate themselves. It's like, no, like when do we just like start again? When do we just start again?
First of all, I would hate, as someone who's in ER, I would hate to work somewhere like that, because that's just ridiculous.
But you're powerless.
Exactly.
You're powerless.
That's why I would hate to work somewhere like that, because I would want to do the right thing. And I know I would have pushback on trying to do the right thing. To be honest,
would you even be able to work there yourself? You're a woman, you're black.
That's true. It will be too much.
You might be subject to some of this stuff as well.
It would be too much. I think that's crazy.
And it's a 363-page report or something.
And the funny thing is that if things were probably done right, or start to be done right, a lot of police officers would lose their job. Yeah. Like many. Yeah. And the police would be paying out a lot of money.
And the thing is, right, if like I would never be a police officer. Not in this here country, never.
The feds. Sorry, go on.
Yeah. Defund the police. Yeah, so I would never be a police officer in this country, but then I'm like, okay, if we don't, like, because I'm not going to martyr myself. That's my thing, innit? Like, I'm not going to martyr myself to build a better future. I'm sorry, but I'm not going to put myself, because I know I'll suffer. Yeah. But it's like,
and the culture's already not there. Like, when you're as someone in HR, when you're thrown into those sorts of cultures, you can't do nothing but abide by the powers that be. Like there's nothing you can do. Like you said, you're powerless. You cannot thrive. You cannot develop. You cannot encourage change. You cannot influence change. You have to ride the wave.
The only change that will happen is you probably just settle into mediocrity and the rubbish.
Yeah, you'll either ride the wave or you have to leave because your moral compass will kick in and you're like, I can't do this. And I think, you know, it's not the same, but when I was at the recruitment company, that's exactly how I felt, that all these things were coming through and not being dealt with properly. And I was like, I can't work here because it just doesn't make
your hands are tied. It's literally like
it doesn't make
powerless.
any sense to me.
But they were talking about the chief HR officer and the director of the Met Police has been like, no, they stand with her. Like she did, like they're
she
defending
needs to lose her job because where is the accountability?
She can't lose her job if the actual like. It's not like what I don't want in this situation is for them to just blame HR because it feeds into the idea that HR have a role to play for sure, but it feeds into the idea that it's all down in HR when really this is cultural stuff and we don't create the culture.
You're right, but she should still lose her job.
They should all lose their jobs, yeah. Yeah, they should all lose their jobs. They need I'm just like, how do you get these gigs? How do you get these you know the people that like
200k to just let things fly?
You couldn't pay me 200k. It's not even enough money. It's not enough money to destroy other people's lives. Like it's just not for me. Like if I want to get a cushy 200 grand job, it's going to be that diversity job from the from the Welcome Trust or wherever it was. That's where I'm going to go. But like I just feel like where do people get these jobs where like those consultant jobs? I would love to go in and basically do what I do, but for the Met Police, I would love it just to go in and be like, yeah, be better.
You're right, but they would dislike everything that you would want to do.
And I'm okay with that. I'm so okay with that. As long as I get my coin. As long as I get my coin and I can tell them, then that's fine. Or I would just like to take a small unit, you know, or a small self-regulated, isolated piece and use it as a case study and be like, okay, be better. That's literally what I do for my clients. Like, your HR is rubbish. This is that. You know, you need to build a HR system, like build a HR infrastructure that works. You know, get people to trust you, actually deliver on some promises. Like, that's what we do. So why can't the Met Police do that? Like, they actually have money. They have
because
our
they
money.
don't want to. They like their boys club because that's what it is. They like their boys club. They like how things are. They like how it runs and they don't want to change it. And when these reports come out, there's an initial like, you know, oh my gosh. And then it just dies and then they continue as they were. You know, it's the same with the police in the US. We all know that they're racist. We all know that they're homophobic. But, you know, as bad as it sounds, a black person is killed, shot down by the police. The video goes viral and then we move.
Yeah.
We move. Nothing else happens.
Except George Floyd, but because we're all at home, we had nothing better to do but to think, let's watch this and do something about it. Yeah.
And then even that, like, we move on and that's it. It's the same thing here.
And they created all the roles and now they're making them redundant.
Yeah. Literally. So what do you do with such a powerful force?
Okay. My recommendation is that we get like a lot of people to join the Met Police. Yeah.
Who's a lot of people? Which kind of people?
Wait. So basically the Met Police is still like very, very, very white and London is like 40% non-white.
Yeah.
So the Met Police is disproportionately white, right? Yeah. So we need to get a lot of people who are not white.
How?
People. We start a campaign, not me, somebody starts a campaign and then we all join at the same time.
I'm pretty sure they've had campaigns to encourage diversity.
No, but who made those campaigns? And did they ever encourage you?
Me, you.
You know, yes. You know what's gonna kill me? I'm gonna see. You know, like they have no imagination. In like a month or so, we're gonna see Chunks and Philly
promoting
in the Met Police campaign. Oh yeah, it's not too bad, you know. Yeah. We're gonna see Ornella Rose.
Yeah, who can we get? Or they'll get Lippy. Because that makes more sense, you know. I had a rough time.
As gang member.
Yeah,
if there was some friends like me, then maybe I would have listened to them. Blah,
I
blah,
wonder
blah.
if they would do it if the bag was big enough.
I reckon that they would.
You think so?
Maybe not Chance and Philly, but other people who are less successful.
You have a problem with Lippy?
I don't have a problem with Lippy. I don't even know him. I just literally have only ever seen him arguing with people on Twitter, and I don't like that. But I feel like if the bag was big enough, there's a lot of things that people would do. You know,
that's true.
There's a lot of things that people do. So yeah, they're gonna get some influencers to come and get people. No, but
you know what? But you're joking, but they will.
But you need critical mass to like actually get things to change. There has to be enough people inside to make a difference, to just be disruptive.
Yeah, they need to look at their leadership first.
They should need to bring in a new chief HR officer. And the thing is,
Yeah,
with me,
100%.
like, I'm actually gonna find a way to be put forward because even if they come and they rubbish me, it's fine. I'll take them to court, like, and I'll disgrace them
for real.
But while I'm there, I can do some stuff. I can be like, no, like I can be like, no, let me show me these investigations. That's not good enough. I'll bring in some self-employed consultants to help me on ER.
Does anyone who works for the Met Police and HR want to come on the pod?
We should. I'm gonna message them. There must be at least one black person. We can blur out their face.
Yeah, but if they're the one black person,
No, but we'll give them a voice filter. When we make that AI,
like prove
okay,
it.
so I'm gonna find someone on LinkedIn.
We'll find.
Yeah. Don't worry. But yeah, so I don't know what to be done about it. We need to find an innovative way, creative way to actually regulate what's happening there. Like it can't just continue like this forever.
Yeah,
I think we need to just start again.
I agree, but
With
they won't
new
want to. The
recruitment,
problem
new
is
anything, pay
they
out
don't
their
want to.
pensions.
Yeah, they won't want
Let
to.
people reapply for their jobs, restructure.
Yeah, they won't. They should. Like they need to break it down and start again, but they won't. Yeah,
Or we should start our own police.
that's what people try and do.
But there are some like the army. They kind of let them police themselves.
Yeah,
So you can have self-regulating. I mean, there's a lot of I wouldn't say it called self-policing, but in the Hasidic Jewish community, sometimes they organize themselves.
yeah. I mean, I can't remember what I was watching, but it had like a group of young black men from Brixton, and they like police certain areas,
Like neighborhood watch.
kind of. But they're like, they protect themselves and they're on the lookout for gangs and all of that stuff to diffuse
Skeptical.
and de-escalate.
Okay.
Stuff. They were on a show. It was Channel 4, I think, discussing it.
It's even neighborhood watch, but black. Hood watch.
Why does it have to be hood, Lola?
Because it's Ebonics in it, hood. Yeah.
Anyways,
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, if you want me to,
Anyway, hood watch. And it's also Brixton, so. And I know it's not main Brixton. Gentrified
it's not gentrified. So I was looking at a case that went to Tribunal, and basically, not all the details are there, but let me tell you what I have. So, a woman works for a company as a senior manager, and she also is married, and her husband earns up to 270k per annum. Yeah,
You're looking for a second wife.
she understandably drops to part-time hours, and her new salary on the part-time hours is 36k.
Okay.
And she basically feels, that 36k is not actually enough for what she's doing, even though she's part-time, and I believe it was prorated, so it makes sense that it's 36k. She brings this up with one of the directors, saying, she thinks her pay should be a bit more. And he responds by saying, based on your combined household income, no.
That's mad.
Yeah.
So he said because your husband's rich, you can work for free. You don't need money.
It's like you're good. Your money is okay.
You'll be fine. You'll manage. You want stuff.
So she does the right thing and she raises a formal grievance.
As she should.
Yeah. And she says, my salary is not being looked at based on the value that I add. It's not based on merit. It's based on my man's income. So they don't, they don't uphold the grievance. She takes them.
They don't uphold it.
No,
they said it. What?
Yeah, they don't.
On what basis?
Do we know?
Okay.
So it goes to court, and everything is heard in court, including the director reconfirming that yes, he did say it, and he doesn't understand how it is sexist to say because your husband.
What's the profile of this director? I'm
gonna assume he's a white man. I'm gonna assume he's straight.
Able-bodied.
I'm gonna assume
middle class.
He's a director so I'm assuming he's he's not struggling for cash himself.
And maybe even has a wife that doesn't earn that much and she's fine.
Exactly. So there's a lot of things there. It was a company called James Duran's is the company. Oh, by the way, this individual, this woman, 69 as well.
She's 69.
Lola was too stunned to speak.
I didn't know she was 69.
Yeah, she's 69. So I don't know what that means, because her age wasn't taken into consideration in this.
The reason what I'm thinking, is it's a slightly sidetracked. But if my man on 270k and I'm 69, I'm not working.
I'm not working. I'm not doing a damn thing. Catch me in Harrods every day.
But sorry, we digress.
So he repeats himself and says, I don't see anything wrong with that. Like, there's nothing in front of the judge. So the judge says, actually, no, this is inherently sexist and discriminatory towards women. And no, you should have looked at her salary
based on what she does,
and the value that she contributes to the company. So she did win. She did receive 4K. Which isn't a lot, but the satisfaction of winning might have been enough.
Do you think the judge took into account her household income? He said, let's be real. They were wrong, but you don't need that money.
You don't need that money. You do not need that money.
And to be fair, they do take into account like the losses that you've suffered and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Did she leave the job?
She did. Yeah, I do think they should have looked at her salary But at the same time, I'm not gonna lie. If I was her and my man's on 270k, you ain't gotta go to work.
Nah, but honestly, do you think even her husband? Do you think her husband was like, "Well, don't worry, whatever they give you, I double it.
Yeah, it's fine.
Buy yourself a nice bag.
Let's go Turks and Caicos."
That's crazy that someone would actually say that. Like, sometimes you just hear the things that people say. You're like,
what? Are you the government? Are you Universal Credit? Why do you need to know her combined income? Like, that's none of your business.
It's I just love, like, I think people are becoming more audacious. Something must be in everyone, because how do you say that in front of the judge? Yeah, I said it. I said what I said. He said I said what I said. And then the judge probably just looked at him like, no,
crazy,
stupid person.
Yeah, like. And then when you hear things like that and they stand by it, you think, what else is going on in your company that we don't know about? But hopefully this was a lesson learned for them.
Something tells me that it won't be.
I hope it is.
4K is not enough to teach you a lesson. The money they spent in legal fees is probably more. Maybe that will help them to learn the lesson.
That's true.
Because that's not even that much money for a company, I mean.
Yeah, no, it's not.
Out of interest, when did it all happen?
It was actually a while ago. It was a couple years ago.
Okay, so that's what I was thinking, because...
Can I just say one more thing on that before you segue?
Mm-hmm.
One of my friends who's in HR, she doesn't live in the UK anymore, but she did. And she dealt with a case in 2020, and she lives in the US now. She has to fly back from the US for a court case that's happening now. Is
it still her employer?
Yeah.
Okay.
But she just moved to a different part of the world. But 3 years later is now when it's happening, because it happened during lockdown.
That's how it goes. That's the whole thing. Like, right now, there's at the end of December 2022, there were 50,000 cases waiting to be heard. So there's a backlog of 50,000 cases at Tribunal, and I can't remember how much they invested a bunch of money to try and get it down. And they said that if they did that, they would be able to hear an extra 1,700 cases in the first quarter. That's not that much. Extra 1,700. So basically, it means that when you, like, a lot of these cases that we talk about, when like, this person at the Tribunal, more time when we're reading it, it's talking about 2020, 2019, sometimes 2021, but backlog. More time, it's like this thing happened in 2019 or even 2017, and we're just talking about it now because that's how long it's taking things to get into Tribunal. Like, things are taking like 12 to 24 months to get to Tribunal, and it just means that like stuff like that. Like, imagine if that person had left the company, your friend. There's no more witness now.
Yeah.
So they're basically trying to figure out like how they can help things to get through the Tribunal faster. But as an employee, it means that if something goes to Tribunal, you have to wait a long time for closure, and that's closure and money. Yeah. But a lot of the time, that hanging over you is such a negative, like, emotional effect on you, psychological.
Do you think this will encourage companies to just settle rather than go to court?
No.
You don't think so?
No, because I think companies are happy to, like, I don't think companies that let things go, companies that let things get to tribunal in the first place, a lot of the time it's a point of principle or they're being cheap. Like it's not because they think it'll be one and done. Like certain companies will never let things go to tribunal unless it's like there's a big reason. Most companies will just give someone 2k or 5k or 10k or whatever and let it be done. But for you to let something get to tribunal, the amount of time is not going to stop you. All it means is that for the employee who's trying to get something or like trying to get closure or justice or whatever, it's just a drain. Like it's just draining, just hanging over you for literally years. And for the companies, in theory, I mean, for the employees, it might mean it gets better for them because it's harder for the companies to defend. People turn over by the time you're preparing the documents and all of that kind of stuff. The person who actually may have left. So it's harder for companies to defend, but it's more exhausting for employees to go through the process. And it probably take companies probably cost them more money in legal fees.
Yeah.
So it's rubbish. Like we don't even have a system where you can really get the justice from.
No.
And it also means that as an employee, if you are trying to take something to tribunal and they give you a good offer, it's probably
better to
have it now than it is to wait 3 years to get your 5B.
Basically.
Yeah.
Well, we have a dilemma today, don't we?
We do have a dilemma. Ooh. Send your dilemmas, guys.
Yeah, please. You can send them to the Instagram, to our email, which is Lola.
Dilemmas at everybodyhateshrpod.co.uk. Listen, the fact that I know that. Okay, let's go. I was about to read the person's name. God forbid. Okay, so subject says dilemma, ! Hey ladies, love your podcast. Thank you. I have a bit of a dilemma that I could use your advice with. I started a new role in which I feel like my company has breached my contract. I'm still in my probation period and my manager seriously micromanages me. I have actually confirmed this with others in the team as it's a small compliance team, but it's only me who she speaks to like I'm incapable. Calls me frequently if I'm at home to check in and requests things that she doesn't from anyone else in my team. E.g. for me to send her my work before I send it off. As of January, she was requesting the team I work for include her in any correspondence so she's aware. This was as a result of their team leader not feeling as though I was performing to par. I was then signed off sick and was informed that I was only eligible for SSP, that's statutory sick pay. She then sent me the policy, but this is not in my contract. I pay rent, bills, car finance, etc., and was unable to make payments because of this. Can I take them to tribunal? By the way, I already have my certificate from ACAS.
Meaning
she's planning on taking so that's certificate she's talking about is like early conciliation. That's when you basically put in a form already and you're waiting for ACAS to basically talk to them and see if they can settle it informally. Right. So you basically decided what you're gonna do.
Literally.
What do you think about it? Okay, so let's dissect.
Yeah, there's a few layers there. Like she's on probation and we're already anyway. Let me go.
So I think it's important to talk about because sometimes I think we can think, okay, what they could actually take. We can misunderstand what we can take an employer to tribunal for. So she said she feels like her contract has been breached, and I think.
Based on what though?
I think she means the SSP part because here it says, she said she was signed off sick and she was then informed that she was only eligible for SSP.
So she thinks there's a bit in her contract that said she should be entitled to full pay while sick. What
she said is she sent me the policy, but it's not in my contract. So maybe in her contract it's silent. It doesn't say anything about the sick pay. Okay. I think it would usually say something or it would refer to a policy. Yeah. So it doesn't have to be in your contract.
Yeah. So
if in the absence of anything being in your contract, I would assume SSP.
Yeah, because she said her manager sent her a policy, right?
Her manager sent her a
policy. So then if the policy says that, maybe the policy says something like if you're on probation, you are only entitled to SSP or something. But she sent you a policy, so she hasn't broken any rules.
And she's following you had access to the policy. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it says, she sent me the policy, but it's not in my contract. So she's saying it's in a policy, it's not in my contract. And I think
usually you're right. Usually the link between the policy and sickness is usually in your contract, but you don't have to put policies in the contract.
You
like
don't.
Sickness, yeah. So.
And also, like saying, oh, like unless our contract says you get enhanced pay, you can't assume that you do.
Yeah, of course.
But I think it seems that that's
There's
the
an
case here.
assumption.
Yeah, there's an
Okay.
assumption that it's not in your contract, so you should be getting full pay. Whereas actually, if it's silent, I would assume that it's the minimum, and that is the legal minimum. So I don't really see that there, and I can't really see how the manager has breached the contract at all. And I don't really understand, if you're in your probation period, how you're taking your manager to how you're going to take the company to tribunal.
Yeah, that's a quick escalation.
It's a very quick escalation. Yeah. And to be honest, like, I'm so sorry that you've been signed off, and I hope it's like not work related. I hope it's much better. But unless it's like a disability discrimination, or you're assuming it's any form of discrimination, I don't really see how we got here. Like, I just think this is why the tribunal system is backed up.
It's true. This is the backlog
because of vexatious claims.
Yeah,
but I don't think, based on what I've seen here, and there may be more to it, but I don't think this really
is she still
meets
working
the bar. Don't say that she's left.
Wow.
Oh, it says here I'm still in my probation, so I think she must still be there.
That's very brave to do that in your probation. And what do you do after that, since you're still there? Do you think you could? I personally couldn't be in a probation period, raise it to that level, and stay in that job.
But the thing is, with the ACAS process, so what you do is you submit like an early conciliation request to ACAS, and basically, you submit an ET1, isn't it? You submit a tribunal claim, but you can't go to tribunal until you've tried to resolve it informally. And you should have tried to resolve it informally even before you put that form in. But ACAS will try and help you. So they basically say, okay, before anything can progress to tribunal, we'll speak to your company and we'll speak to you. We'll try to get you to do it informally and blah, blah, blah. Either you want to do that or you don't. So maybe she just actually wanted a third party to mediate or to help in that situation. And maybe it is more like innocently that she's done it. But the fact that she's saying, can I take them to tribunal? I would say no. And say, unless there's a real reason, unless there's a real discrimination, and I'm talking about real discrimination, not you just so happen to be black. Or you just so happen to have dyslexia. I mean, like a
and
real,
you feel micromanaged because of that. Yeah,
if you don't like a manager, you don't like a manager. But your manager being a dick is not enough to.
No, it's true. It's
not enough to get. It's not enough to go to tribunal. It's not nice,
but it's not enough.
It's not enough.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say, like, I haven't heard anything here, so I'm sorry if that's not what you wanted to hear.
Yeah, but it's the truth. I think it's important to be realistic about, what's going on. And I think sometimes when you're in the thick of it, it's really hard to, have that objective view. And I think that's what HR do, is to look at things objectively and think, okay, what is actually here? What is the risk? Is there any risk? And just from listening to what you said and the dilemma, it's just doesn't sound like there's anything there. No. It sounds like you're having a bit of a crap experience. Yeah. And this is not what you expected from your new job. It sounds like you expected to be left a bit more to your own devices. You weren't expecting to, not be able to go off sick without it impacting your finances. But nothing there says, there's a risk. That is, there. Yeah.
I don't even know if the sickness is work related as well. Like, I just no.
Yeah. And then even with the employer, depending on how they feel, like, you could be at risk.
They could sack you.
Yeah. I was trying to be nice. That's why I said
they could. And also, like, it doesn't sound like, from this, obviously your manager's micromanaging you, you've spoken to your colleagues, they haven't done it to other people. That's the only thing that is giving potential discrimination.
But then this is not how many you're right, but how many of those other people are on probation? And I'm not saying it's okay for your manager to micromanage you, but when you are on probation, of course your manager is going to pay way more attention
because they don't know yet what you're capable of,
rather than someone who has been there a bit
I kind
longer.
of read it as, when I was in probation, she didn't do that to me. That's how I kind of read it.
Oh, I didn't read it like that.
Yeah, okay. But that's the only thing. And even that's not given enough. Like, I was saying that, like, I feel like there's this culture of not complaining about things that we should complain about. Like, and then there's some times when we complain about things where it's just not there.
Not saying this person is that person.
No.
But we were talking about it the other day, that it's always the people who complain that should not be complaining.
I'm not saying that this is, and by the way, it's not that this is not something to complain about, but it's just not something to take to tribunal.
Yeah, it's something to just have a discussion.
I wonder if you've spoken. I wonder if she, like, in terms of actual advice that she can use. I mean, the question was, can I take them to tribunal? I would say no.
Yeah.
But in terms of actual advice that this person can use going forward, I would say actually try and speak to your manager about it.
Yeah, like, as much as this is a probation for you, it's a probation for them as well. Like, your manager, you need to know if this company is the right fit for you. You need to know if your manager is going to be someone that's going to facilitate your growth and development and actually just create a good working environment for you. So these are the times and opportunity to have those sorts of conversations with your manager about how you're currently feeling about your experience, because you're also new, they're new. So
and they might not have an idea that you're feeling that way.
Yeah.
And there may be things that they want from you that maybe they should have been more proactive and asked, or ways they want you to work, or ways they want you to communicate with them, which you could then do proactively and kind of cut out all that stuff. Sometimes there's just an element of managing things. Go read Velisa's article.
It's true. And there's also like, you know, try and find out more context, because she said, you know, she didn't do it to any of the others. And you said you're reading it as when the others were in probation, she didn't do that. But maybe something happened during their probations, which has pushed this manager to basically change her style a bit more. You know, with managers, there's always context. You don't know if someone was there and they've bounced because, do you know what I mean?
Someone come and broke their employment heart. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So just that as well.
Yeah. Hope that helps.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Let us know how you get on. Let us know if you pass your probation.
Yeah. Let us know if you stay.
Yeah. Let us know if you even want to stay after you pass your probation.
Yeah, let us know if they let you stay.
Yeah. Hopefully. Good luck.
Good luck. All the best. Well wishes. All that
stuff. That's it. We are so close to having 1,000 subscribers on Spotify.
We are.
And I love that for us. So if you're listening on Spotify, please hit the follow button if you're not already. Apple, we're a way off, but if you're listening on Apple, do the same. We got an interesting review on Apple, which is
trying to ruin us.
It's trying to ruin us. It took us from 5 stars to 4.8, but that's okay.
Would you believe it? Yeah,
exactly. So if you don't agree with that review, that 1-star review that we got, go and review us.
Can I also say, so my cousin's wife, she'll hear this because she listens to the pod.
Yeah.
So yes, you. Yeah. She listens on her brother's Spotify. Please get your own Spotify. So
why
that
did
you can?
Is it free to listen to a podcast on Spotify? I've got premium, so I don't know. I can't relate, but
I don't know.
I think it's free
premium as well.
Is it not free?
You can get the free Spotify.
Oh, maybe they put ads on us.
Do you think so?
I don't know.
But anyway, get your own Spotify, please.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that you can actually, you know, be 99.9.
Yeah, we're just 10 away. So
yeah. And anyone else as well, unless it's a family share one where you actually have your own account, please get your own.
Yeah. And obviously YouTube, if you're not subscribing on YouTube or following on YouTube, go and do that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just continue engaging and loving and whatever.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's a wrap, guys.
Bye.